If your research requires you to conduct interviews with senior people in politics, business, or journalism, you may well be required to do what's called an elite interview. And elites are distinct groups within society or within a section of society. They're individuals who are commonly seen to have particular knowledge, power, authority, or control in a particular setting or situation. So when people talk about elite interviews, they often talk about interviewing chief executives of businesses or senior political figures, or perhaps talk about interviewing more junior people but within an elite setting. So, for example, someone working at 10 Downing Street. And often someone's elite status comes from their social capital or their social networks, which means that they can exert influence. So, how does an elite interview differ from any other kind of interview? And there's an interesting debate here about what exactly an elite interview is, because after all, what makes somebody powerful or influential? Just because somebody's powerful in their job, does that mean that that's going to translate into an interview with you? After all, power doesn't rest in the person, but in the context in which you're trying to engage with them. So the chief executive of a successful business may seem very powerful in the office, but they might not seem so powerful when they're at home arguing with their teenage children. And of course, shouldn't you treat all your interviewees the same and be polite, professional and prepared, whoever they are? So be reflexive about the research process. Ask yourself, where does the power lie? And that might not be just about status. It might be about dynamics around age or gender or something else. So be aware of the power dynamics as you conduct the interview, but also be aware that they might change. And Catherine Smith's article on problematizing power relations in elite interviews is well worth a look here. So just to finish, some tips and hints for conducting elite interviews. I think one of the hardest things to do is to get access. So do your research here. Is there a PA or somebody else who can help you get access? Can you approach the person directly, perhaps via LinkedIn or via another social media channel? Be polite but persistent if you don't get an answer. What is it that they've done or written or said that makes you want to interview this person? Be really clear about why you want to interview them. The more personalised your approach, the more likely it is that they'll say yes. Be transparent. Remember that if you're approaching senior people in the public eye, they'll be concerned about their reputation. So be prepared to answer questions about who you are, why you want to interview them, and what's going to happen with the transcript of what they say. Be available. If you want to secure an interview with very senior people, the chances are you're going to have to work around their schedule, so be prepared for that. And when you're in the interview, make sure that you manage the time properly. If you've only been given a short amount of time, make sure that you use it well. Make your questions as open-ended as possible. Senior people tend to have plenty to say, so make sure that you give them lots of opportunities to do so. And finally, don't be nervous. The chances are that your interviewee wants to help you succeed with your research, so make the most of the opportunity.